What is up? I am Erica Warnick, Hollywood's leading success coach, and I'm real excited to bring you a new video today. If you have any other questions that you would like answered, drop them in the comments here or come find me on Instagram at Hollywood Success Coach and slide into my DMs and let me know what you want to hear. I want to help you achieve whatever it is that you are pursuing, and I want you to know that any dream is possible. Subscribe below, and I will see you on the video.
Let's talk social media, because I know that there's a lot of controversial opinions about social media in terms of your career, and I want to talk about it. Let's get controversial. You might not want to hear what I've got to say, but I'm here to help you, and everything that I tell you is for you to succeed. So let's get her done. Okay, so I know that especially for actors, a thing started happening. A shift started happening where actors started getting cast based on their social media following numbers rather than just flatly based on their talent. And this has got actors all riled up, rightfully so, totally understand. And actors get really upset about this, to think that, that they're going to be cast, that they're not going to be cast because someone's going to beat them to it just because they have more followers, not because they're more talented or more right for the role. And so I agree. I think that, actors should be hired based on their talent or whether or not they're right for the role. But here's the thing where I have really changed gears about this because I've had to learn so much for myself. I used to be like, yeah, actors, if you're not into social media, don't do it. And there's a caveat because I still believe that we should do the things that feel good. However, when we're talking about this from a business standpoint, when you are building a business, there are a lot of things that you have to do in the beginning that you might not love doing, but eventually you can hire them out. I have to do my own accounting. I have to do my own social media. I have to do, I do all my content creation, but then I also have to do all the work on the back end to make it all run. Eventually, maybe, depending on where my business goes, I might hire those things out. I actually don't hate doing all that. I kind of like it. But let's say, I really didn't like doing those things. The accounting part, probably don't want to keep doing that forever. I do hire someone for my taxes. But when you're building a business, you might have to do things that you don't love, but you need to do in order to grow the business. And so one of those things is marketing. And, as I've built a business, I've really had to learn this lesson myself. And I think that's why my tune has really changed on this. So I see the value in marketing and why it's so important from a business standpoint. You as an actor, as a writer, as a director, guess what? Still a business. And guess what? Hollywood, still a business. Even though Hollywood is telling stories, they're doing it for money. Okay? Can you imagine if you put up your own $100 million and it was your own money and you invested $100 million into a big movie and the movie went out in the theaters and you didn't make the money back and it was in the hole and it only made back, you didn't even break even. Let's say it only made 80 million in the theaters. And then you lost money. Can you imagine? It's so different when you think about it as your own money, right? So Hollywood is a business and you are a business. Actor, business, writer, business, director, whatever your art is, you are a business if you want to be making money. And businesses require marketing. And so because of that, I think you should 100% be on social media. And now I've really changed my stance on this. I think that if you're not on social media, that it's a cop-out. And I actually think it's an excuse. And I totally understand you don't want someone to be cast over you, and I get that. But you also should be marketing yourself for other reasons that don't even necessarily have to do with why you're cast. I mean, from a business standpoint, if someone sees that an actor has 3.1 million followers, yeah, they might be interested in casting them because they might have, be able to sell tickets. We know that they have an audience versus an unknown, right? So from a business standpoint, but there are so many other reasons why you should be marketing yourself other than just being cast. And one of those reasons that I think is so important is to what I like to call continue the conversation after you have a project, after you book something. And really also, even if you have never booked something before, then you should be marketing the shit out of yourself so that people want to, know about you. So people know about you so that they want to book you. And the more you put yourself out there, the more opportunities you're creating, the more potential connections you can create. And social media is free. It is free for you to post on Instagram. It is free for you to post on Facebook, on Snapchat, on TikTok, right? It does not cost you anything to market yourself in those places by posting. And so if it's not costing you anything except for some time and some energy, then you should be posting on there. But especially, let's say you book a job. Let's say you are an actor. I think this really goes for any other craft, but let's just say an actor, because I do this all the time. Tell me if you do this. When you watch a show, whether it's on Netflix or whatever, you watch a show on your TV, and then either while you're watching or after the episode finishes, you immediately look the actors up on IMDb and then find them on Instagram, okay? I'm sure I'm not the only person that does this. I do this all the time. So I watch a TV episode, I see the actor, and I immediately want to look them up on social media. And the reason I want to look them up, it's like I want that conversation to continue as a fan, right? And I'm curious, what are they up to now? What do they look like now? What do they look like when they're not on camera? Are they married? Single me looking up their marital status. And so if I do that and I go to their Instagram page and there's nothing there, not an account, or if they hardly ever post and the last post was from last year or 6 months ago or 3 months ago, the conversation ends. And my interest in that person can't go further in terms of a fan being interested in their work or anything because they have ended the conversation. I can't post, I could post, but they're hardly ever on there. They're never going to say anything back, right? And so I think you always want to take every project you book and figure out, how can I leverage this into another opportunity? Because we never want any one project to just end where it is. There's always more opportunity from opportunity. And we would like to, my mentor, James Malinchak, calls this spider webbing. Like, how can I spider web this into other opportunities? So when I book something and I'm on a TV show, or I am on, I wrote an episode of television, or I directed an episode of television, how can I leverage that into another opportunity? So for example, let's say you are really good at marketing yourself and you are, let's say you write an episode of a show that has great fans and you get to Twitter afterwards and you get to Instagram afterwards, you live tweet, you get really, interactive with the fans, you keep the conversation going, you share behind the scenes stuff, people love behind the scenes. And you just continue talking about it, and it builds buzz for the project. It builds buzz for you. And then let's say, someone makes a meme about you, or a news outlet starts picking up the conversations that happen, right? And then suddenly, now you're in the press, and now there's a press article about you, even if it's from like E! News or BuzzFeed or Pop Sugar or something, whatever, it doesn't matter. But now you're leveraging one opportunity into another. And when you're not marketing yourself at all, especially on social media, that conversation ends the moment you are not posting anything. So even if you book something, okay, people are going to look you up, and if you have nothing there, the conversation ends. And it's harder for you to leverage that into another opportunity. So I think social media is an incredible way to market yourself for free, to help you build a fan base, to help you showcase your work. And, you can tag casting directors, you can tag producers, you can tag showrunners. I always say, like, especially now, we're in quarantine right now, like, I think social media usage has gone up 70%, which is insane. All Facebook owned. So Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all of those, they've gone up 70%. More people are on social media right now because we're all stuck at home. And so it's more likely that one of those people you tag might actually look at your work. So it's an opportunity to showcase your work. It's, market yourself behind the scenes. There's so many opportunities. And I think that when you don't do it, I really think it's a cop-out. Even though you might be like, oh, I hate social media. Look, you're running a business. You might hate marketing. One day you can get an assistant. Maybe even now, if you want to, you can hire an assistant to do it. I think it's always more authentic when it comes from you. But I think, like I have a client that works for an A-lister, and even that A-lister, even though my client does post for her, the A-lister like confirms everything. She also posts a whole bunch by herself. I mean, she's very involved in it. So she's not like, from afar. She's just getting help. So if you really hate it, you can hire somebody to do it for you. But I do think it's a cop-out, and I think it's an excuse, and I think it's a missed opportunity. Again, completely changed my tune. I did not think that years ago before I had a business that I had to market the shit out of myself. Why do you think I'm making all these videos now on YouTube? Because I need to market myself more. I need to tell you, hey, I'm Erica, Hollywood's leading success coach. I need more people to know about me. And so I'm doing more to market myself. So I changed my tune. I totally changed my tune. I think you should be on social media. I think you should be marketing yourself and thinking of yourself as a business that makes money. And even if you're shy, I don't know, I just feel like there are so many excuses you could come up with, but there's so many different ways with which you can do it. It's not like you have to do a ton of photos of you or whatever, but you can do pictures of you. I mean, documenting, I was talking about this on my podcast. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about documenting and how powerful documenting is and how easy it is. So if you're not sure what to do for marketing yourself, document behind the scenes what your life is like. Document behind the scenes what you are doing as an actor, writer, director. Right now I am documenting behind the scenes of getting a book deal. I've got 2 highlights now because the first one already got filled up of, when I'm getting rejected from agents and what's going on with my, trying to get a book deal. And people are following along with me over the course of, probably this year. So documenting is really powerful. It's another form of storytelling. It gets people invested in you. It gets people caring. And so it's a really good way to engage fans, grow fans, and get other producers and really anyone else interested in you and your work. Excuse me. So that is my new take on social media. Might not be what you want to hear, but I hope that you're hearing it from a business standpoint and understand, the power of being able to market yourself. I think you want to continue that conversation, get some raving fans, grow it into, future opportunities, leverage, spider web. So think about it. I would, take a look at your social media and see where you can expand and where you can grow. I know you can do this, okay? I want you to succeed, get those fans, and I'll see you next time.